Using the verb ser.
Here's the vocabulary we'll use in this section.
Oh, lo siento, hey.
Lo siento is another one of those useful phrases that you should, at this point, just go ahead and memorize. You never know when you're going to have to say sorry. Oh, sorry, lo siento.
Perro means dog.
Bonito means pretty. Sillas are chairs. Antiguas are antiques.
Él es muy guapo.
Doesn't guapo mean handsome?
See?
Margarita, you have strange taste in men. Well, he does have good knees.
Hija means daughter.
Desordenada is a slob.
Caballo means horse.
Esto es horrible.
Horrible means horrible. The word is a cognate, so it's spelled the same way and means the same thing in both Spanish and English. Only the pronunciation differs.
A panadería is a bakery in galletas or cookies.
A panaderia is a bakery, and galletas are cookies.
Gratis means free, which all this stuff is to me because I'm a robber, someone who takes things.
That's what you think. So there's the vocabulary. Now, let's start with ser.
Here's a simplified explanation of the difference between ser and estar. Ser usually refers to a permanent condition, and estar usually refers to a variable or temporary condition. Keep that in mind as we go over the details.
Now that you know the pronouns, we'll show you the various forms of ser that go along with each pronoun. By the way, when you go through all the forms of a verb, it's called conjugating the verb. We'll tell you more about conjugations in a minute.
One thing we should tell you about the verb ser. It's an irregular verb.
You can conjugate most Spanish verbs in a predictable way, but we'll talk about that later.
Ser is irregular, so you have to memorize its forms. You can't just predict its conjugation. There are a number of irregular verbs in Spanish, but for the most part, Spanish verbs are predictable and pretty easy to deal with. Let's start by conjugating the English verb to be, just so you'll remember what a conjugation looks like. Then we'll conjugate the Spanish verb ser.
The conjugation of the English verb to be goes like this. I am, you are, he or she is, we are, you are, they are.
Now let's do the same thing in Spanish with the verb ser. Yo soy, tú eres, él, ella, or usted es, nosotros or nosotras somos, ustedes, ellos, or ellas son.
Confused? It will clear up, just like the eye of a hurricane. Just kidding. We'll clear it all up for you. Now that you've seen the conjugation of the verb ser, we'll practice using it as we show you some circumstances which call for it.
We mentioned earlier that you use ser when you're talking about a permanent or relatively permanent situation. The place where you come from falls into that category. It's considered permanent.
For example, English-speaking Americans say,
I am from the United States.
in Spanish you'd say,
Yo soy de los Estados Unidos.
Let's take a close look at this sentence. Yo means I, soy means am, de means from, and los is the correct form of the article the to go along with Estados Unidos, which means United States.
Soy de México. Notice in this example, we did not use a pronoun with soy because we didn't need it. Soy implies the pronoun I all by itself because there is no other pronoun that can go with soy. It has to be yo soy. That's why you don't necessarily have to say yo with soy.
Examples. I need more examples.
Izquierda, 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 derecha, izquierda.
Here you go, General.
She is from Bogotá, Colombia. Ella es de Bogotá, Colombia.
Now look at this sentence. Ella es de Bogotá, Colombia. Ella is the pronoun that means she. We needed the pronoun in this sentence because es, the third person singular form of ser, can be used with ella, él, or usted. Unless it's obvious who you're talking about, you have to use a pronoun with third person singular verb forms like es.
Let's look at the conjugation of ser one more time.
Yo soy, tú eres, él, ella or usted es, nosotros or nosotras somos, ustedes, ellos or ellas son.
We are from Argentina. Somos de Argentina.
Somos de Argentina. In this example, we didn't use a pronoun because somos is only used with nosotros or we, so nosotros is implied automatically.
So here's a quick rundown of which verb forms you can use without a pronoun.
We'll use ser as an example, but these rules hold true for any verb.
The first person singular form of the verb, which, in the case of ser, is soy, can stand by itself without the pronoun yo. The second person singular informal form of the verb can also stand by itself without the pronoun tú. The second person singular form of ser is eres. Eres always implies the pronoun tú.
Now don't confuse the pronoun tú and its verb forms with the other second person singular pronoun usted. Remember, usted is a formal way to say you. Usted takes the same verb form as the third person singular pronouns él and ella.
Here's a table that will remind you of the pronouns and what they mean.
Yo means I. Tú is the informal word for you. Usted is the formal word for you. Él means he. Ella means she. Nosotros and nosotras mean we. The os form is masculine, and the as form is feminine. Ustedes is the plural form of you. Ellos is the masculine form of they, and ellas is the feminine form of they.
You also use ser to describe the permanent characteristics of a person, place, or thing. For example, beauty is considered a permanent characteristic.
El perro es bonito means the dog is beautiful. Let's take a close look at the structure of this sentence.
El perro es bonito. The article el means the, and it matches the singular masculine subject, perro, which means dog. Next comes es, which is the third person singular form of the verb ser. Es matches the third person singular noun, perro. After the verb comes our adjective bonito, which means beautiful. Notice the o at the end of bonito, which indicates the adjective is masculine. Why is it masculine? Because it also has to match perro, which is masculine.
If we were talking about a girl dog, the sentence would go like this. La perra es bonita. In this case, the article la is feminine, because it goes along with perra, which means female dog. Notice that it's the a on the end of perra that indicates that the dog is female.
The verb es is the same as in the boy-dog example, because es works for any third-person singular subject, masculine or feminine.
The adjective bonita gets an a on the end because it's modifying a feminine subject, perra.
All the parts match. In this case, they are all singular and or feminine.
Las sillas son antiguas.
Those chairs aren't going to get any younger. They will be antiques till they rot. So, this is a case which calls for the verb ser.
Here's our sentence. Las sillas son antiguas. Las is feminine and plural. The subject sillas or chairs is feminine and plural. Son is the third person plural form of ser, and antiguas, which means antiques, is feminine and plural.
Putting together a Spanish sentence is like putting together a puzzle. All the pieces have to match up, or it doesn't work.
Let's look at the conjugation of ser one more time.
Yo soy.
Tú eres.
Usted, él, and ella es.
Nosotros or nosotras somos.
Ustedes, ellos, and ellas son.
Let's run through a few more quick examples of cases that call for the to-be verb ser. And try not to rely on the English subtitles to understand the vocabulary. If you haven't learned the vocabulary for this section, rewind and review the vocabulary now.
Soy guapo.
Hola, mami.
Hija, eres muy desordenada.
¡Somos horribles!
Bienvenidos a la panadería de Fernando. ¡Las galletas son gratuitas!
For our review, let's go over the conjugation of ser one more time, because it's a very important verb, and you need to learn it. By the way, the Spanish word for or is o, just the letter o. We'll use it when we conjugate ser again, so remember what it means.
Yo soy. Tú eres. Usted, él o ella es. Nosotros o nosotros somos. Ustedes, ellos o ellas son. The verb ser means to be,
and is generally used in situations such as where you're from that are considered permanent.
Section B, using estar.
New section, new vocab. Here it comes.
Cansado is an adjective that means tired.
If you call someone el loco, you're calling him a fool.
I'll buy the deed to the Brooklyn Bridge.
Okay. El Loco!